sing and have some fun. We're gonna hear God's word before we're done. We're gonna dance, we're gonna shout, we're gonna learn what it's all about. 'Cause God knows me and He loves me and He made me, and so we're free to sing and have some fun. We're gonna hear God's word before we're done. We're gonna dance, we're gonna shout, we're gonna learn what it's all about. Let's go!
Good morning, True Blessings! My name is Kelsey, and I'm so excited that I get to share with you some of our big God story. Do you guys know what this is? It's a walkie-talkie. And Hamilton and I have been playing with these walkie-talkies all morning. And he told me that he wants us to call him on our walkie-talkie this morning. Do you guys want to help me call him? Okay, when I count to 3, we're all going to call out as loud as we can on our walkie-talkie, "Oh, Hamilton, where are you?" Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. "Oh, Hamilton, where are you?" Hello, Hamilton. Did you hear us calling you on the walkie-talkies? I've been having so much fun with these walkie-talkies today. Well, I wonder what a walkie-talkie has to do with the big God story. Do you guys have any ideas? Well, let's get started and maybe we'll find out. A long time ago, there was a boy named Samuel. And Samuel lived somewhere a little different. Where do you guys live? Maybe you live in a house or an apartment. Well, Samuel lived at the temple. And the temple was kind of like a church. And that's where Samuel lived. And he lived with a man named Eli. And Eli helped take care of the temple and make sure that people there could make sacrifices to God and talk with him about God. And that's where Samuel lived. Well, Samuel was a little boy. And one night while he was sleeping, okay friends, we all should pretend to be sleeping right now. Can we all pretend to be sleeping? He heard a voice. And the voice said, "Samuel, Samuel." What's that, Hamilton? Your walkie-talkie? Yes, he didn't hear the voice from a walkie-talkie, but he did hear a voice. So Samuel got up and thought, "Oh, Eli must be calling me." And he ran over to Eli, who was sleeping, and said, "Here I am." And Eli said, "What are you doing here?" And Samuel said, "You were calling me." And Eli said, "I wasn't calling you. Go back to bed." So Samuel went back to bed. Let's all pretend to go back to sleep. And all of a sudden, he heard a voice. "Samuel, Samuel." So Samuel woke up, thought it was Eli, and ran over to Eli and said, "Here I am. You called me." And Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." So Samuel went back to bed. He went back to sleep, and he heard the voice again. "Samuel, Samuel." And so Samuel ran to Eli and said, "Here I am." And Eli realized something. Who do you think was calling Samuel's name? It was God. And that's what Eli realized too. And so he said, "This time when you hear the voice, I want you to say, 'Speak, Lord, I'm listening.'" So Samuel did. He went back to bed. He put the covers over his head and he waited. And sure enough, he heard a voice. "Samuel, Samuel." And Samuel said, "Speak, Lord, I am listening." And God spoke to Samuel, and he told him some things. And in the morning, Samuel shared what God had told him to Eli. Because do you know what? God had very special plans for Samuel. Samuel was going to be a prophet and share God's words with his people. And so Samuel learned from a very young age to listen to God's voice. Do you guys think God still speaks? Yes, God still speaks. God speaks to us sometimes when we hear a little voice in our heart that says, go give mom or dad a hug. And God speaks sometimes when we're dancing and singing and we just want to sing praise. That's God speaking to us. We can hear God's voice at church. We can hear God's voice with our families. We can hear God's voice when we dance and sing. Those are all ways that we can hear God's voice. Well, Hamilton, thank you so much for your help with today's Big God story. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you next week for our Big God story. Goodbye.